the Packers, I mentioned them today in the quick reaction. They get Josh Jacobs, 4 years, $48 million. And when that news broke, a lot of people, including myself, I didn't tell you guys, I recorded a reaction to it 3 times today. The first reaction I did the whole show, and then I realized that the computer froze and nothing recorded. I was like, okay, because the computer shut off. It's like, great. All right, have to redo this. I come back, record again, and I'm doing short reactions because I'm working during the day, but I'm doing short reactions. I record again, and I'm just talking about how pumped I'd be if I were a Packer fan to have Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs being able to spell each other. The two of them great running backs. Yeah, I'm like, I would be pumped up for this two-headed monster. This really makes the offense, takes it to potentially another level. Just go get your defense and they're ready to go. As soon as I finish recording, I look down at my phone and I see, Aaron Jones gone. Nothing I said matters. And I re-record it for a third time.
I saw on Instagram a post, it's Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones side by side with each other. And the caption was like, a nice little two-headed monster here in Green Bay.
What was that for all of like 30 minutes?
And all the comments were like, dude, Aaron Jones is gone, LOL. AJ's not there anymore, LOL. I mean, I think that's a downgrade.
Oh, I do too.
I think Aaron Jones is much better than Josh Jacobs.
A healthy Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones has just had a lot, and Josh Jacobs has too, but Aaron Jones has had a lot of injury problems.
Then it doesn't matter to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
Josh Jacobs strikes me as a indoor warm weather running back.
The hell does that mean?
He went to Bama. He played in the dome in the NFL. Like he doesn't strike me as that cold weather playoff Green Bay snow-like running back.
Oh, the reaction to Aaron Jones leaving, I knew he was a fan favorite, but what we've seen from the reactions to the video we posted, Packer fans seem devastated. Like this was a huge loss.
Yeah, Aaron Jones would come out, it'd be a blizzard. He'd be in short sleeves. He'd be he's awesome. I don't know if I could see Josh Jacobs like that. Like he's an indoor dome running back.
What was your take, Ziggy, on the Josh Jacobs Aaron Jones flip? Were you also thinking?
I think Ziggy might
screwed with this dome
running back. All of this indoor dome running.
I think he's a warm weathered running back.
Well, this is just Jack ideology.
Some of the best games of his entire career have been on the road.
A moderate temperature running
in the north, cold weather. But the thing I think about this Josh Jacobs substitution is, I guess I'm just not sure what it's supposed to prove or do. You're bringing in Josh Jacobs on a pretty big salary. He's had injury problems. He's coming off far and away the worst year of his career. I mean, he had a terrible season, right? He only had 2 games over 100 yards this year. This was not the season that you wanted to see from him. And the Packers have decided to reward him with a big deal when the Raiders, who by all accounts love him, he's a hard worker. Yeah. He has an incredible story. They decided he wasn't worth it, while they're handing out a bunch of win now, big money free agency contracts. So it's puzzling to me that the Packers have decided to do this. But setting that aside, the thing that stands out to me about free agency this year for the Packers, the rules have really changed in Green Bay. Since 2020 until today, the Packers had been the lowest spenders in free agency. They'd spent cash in free agency since 2020. That's 3 years. Just under $21 million. The highest spenders in that period, the Bengals, $287 million. So the Packers had spent about 7% of what the Bengals had. Now, the Packers actually gotten some value, and they didn't fall into the traps the Jets did. But just today, the 2 contracts, Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney, $116 million. Mm-hmm. A Packers fan sent me a DM saying he's never seen anything like this in Green Bay. And it certainly is different to see them going out and getting big money free agents. So while I don't necessarily think Josh Jacobs was the move, it's interesting to see them going in with Jordan Love and trying to make that final push before some of the bigger numbers in the extension they're inevitably going to give him kick in.
Well, Gutekunst said this. They were talking about the Packers roster and whether or not they were willing to make some big moves. And he said, yeah, like we have he essentially said, we have a really good team right now. We're not going to be afraid to go and get someone if we think he can take us over the hump.
He said that how many years of Aaron Rodgers and didn't do it?
No, and now finally, if I were a Packer fan, I'd be excited to see the aggressiveness, because you do feel like following that 49er game, there's a really sour taste in the mouth of Packer fans, where you had that. Like, we go back to that game, you watch the highlights, you're sick to your stomach. That game should have been Green Bay's. And the more you think about it, you go, wow, all right, we're already right there with the best team in the NFC. If we can just go and fill in a couple of these holes we have, the NFC's up for grabs, really. There's, you do fear the 49ers to a degree, but other than that, you can go out and grab it. I mean, you got to contend with the Lions in your own division. Detroit's really good. Like, I don't want to disrespect Detroit fans and just give it to Green Bay, because that's not the case at all. But the Packers have to feel like we're right there. And the moves they made today, unfortunately, they get rid of Aaron Jones, who, I do think that's a bit of a downgrade. Not much, but a little bit. But they certainly showed that, hey, we think we can go and win the whole damn thing.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Like, this team was on the road in the divisional round and had the game won. You have a great young receiving core, a great young quarterback. The main weakness was probably the defensive side of the ball in that secondary position. They just went and they got that. McKinney's he's a good safety.
Oh yeah, now you could go into the draft and just go get that best player available. Like find the guy who completes the. I would get the defensive game wrecker. Whoever you think is that guy.
I mean, they filled with McKinney. They really filled a massive quality need.
Oh yeah, 100%. Ziggy, I know you were kind of the guy Packers fans were leaning on when it came to, and maybe across the nation. Who's to say? When it came to this safety search, you suggested Kyle Duggar from the Patriots, who was then promptly tagged right after that video.
The Patriots knew, they watched the video.
Yeah, that was like 30 minutes later.
This guy's cooked.
That was like 30 minutes later.
Almost immediately after the video dropped.
I remember seeing that on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good call. It's a good call, Lizzie.
You have to be excited about Xavier McKinney, right? He was one of only 4 defenders last year of 115 plus tackles and 10 plus passes defended. Mm-hmm. PFF gave him the highest coverage grade of any safety in the NFL.
Oh God, I hate hearing this.
91.2. You know what Darnell Savage's was? 61.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 60.
So they're going from a below average pass defender to the best at the position in the entire league. So, like, again, as excited as I was about Duggar for the Packers, and by excited, I mean not excited.
I was going to say huge clarification right there.
Yeah. As much as I thought that was a good fit, I really thought the Giants were going to either tag or extend McKinney. I didn't think this was a realistic possibility. And the safety market being as big as it is really drove down McKinney's price. I don't know. I worry about the Packers getting a guy who can do it all. What felt like last year, defense couldn't do anything. And this is the exact opposite of that. So I don't know. There's certainly some cause for concern if you're a fan of another NFC North team with him coming in. And, I think, again, think of how much Jesse Bates turned around that Atlanta defense. Xavier McKinney's a little bit less of a playmaker, but he's a little more consistent to make up for it. I think this is a great signing from them. And safety is one of those positions that you should be targeting in free agency.
Oh, well, yeah, it does go with the Ziggy philosophy of premium positions, no go in free agency, draft.
Yeah. No, I mean, Xavier, you can have the best safety in the league. And Xavier McKinney was arguably the best safety in the league last year, hit free agency and signed a deal for $17 million. Mm-hmm. That is what free agency for premium players is for. And the Packers are doing it.
Yeah, 4 years.
Congratulations. Enjoy the NFC North. Enjoy how Xavier McKinney's getting 5 interceptions against Sam Darnold next year when we roll him out.
Hey, by the end of the year, when JJ McCarthy is evolved into a Josh Allen-esque threat, and we have Justin Jefferson happy with his $150 million contract.
You're 3-12 going to Lambeau Field.
We're 3-12 going into Lambeau Field. You'll see who's sorry. You'll see who's running the North.
Playoffs.
You'll see who's running the North that day.
Who was the quarterback that you guys sent out there, your third string, that got immediately concussed?
Jaron Hall.
Oh, Jaron Hall. Yeah, I mean we had our three-headed monster of Jaron Hall, Josh Dobbs, and Nick Mullins last year, who almost took us to the playoffs. But
I think Jaron Hall's pretty good.
For McKinney, it's a 4-year, $68 million deal. We haven't seen anything with Jaron. We have no idea.
What if the Packers just roll?
Wait, didn't Hall play the first half of the New Year's Eve game? It was a disaster.
Oh yeah, it was horrible.
Absolute mess. $17 million a year roughly for Xavier McKinney in Green Bay. And this was another thing. If you want to hear stats to get you excited, Packer fans, 592 snaps last year, 53 targets, 0 touchdowns allowed. So there you go. Another think about some of the great safeties in the league today. Are good. My maybe old
I'm
friend.
sorry, I got a little shiver just thinking about Xavier McKinney on the Packers. It's going to be a disaster for us.
My old friend Kyle Hamilton. Think about how he's turned around, helped turn. Not that the Ravens defense needed turning around, but just taking them to another level.
My old
Great
friend
safety's awesome.
Troy Polamalu.
Oh yeah.
He was quite good.
Great safety, so fun to watch.
Quite good.
Playmakers. I mean, yeah.
Javon Holland.
Javon Holland.
Who's that?
Yeah. Who? So good day. Yeah, I mean, great day in terms of the safety for Packers. A sad day letting Aaron Jones go, but such is the NFL. That's what happens.